Stardate 55240.8. With the refit of the Tenshi completed and the last-minute additions to the crew beginning to board, which includes a new chief medical officer and counselor, the Tenshi should be ready to depart from Starbase 200, and we are on orders to make course for Sector 417, an apparently uncharted section of space just beyond Federation territory. End log.
Alright, with that, we'll go to the bridge. Currently, the Tenshi is still docked within Starbase 200. Most of the last-minute crew members are on board, with a few additional supplies being loaded onto the Tenshi for its long journey into uncharted territory. This is a time for you guys to do any role play before Part 200, as well as for the new additions to settle in their roles.
I am going to call for the commander to join me in my ready room.
And I'm going to make my way up to the bridge.
Commander, hit the chimey thing.
Come in.
You have to see me, Captain.
Yes, Commander. Wanted your morning report to our status. Is everyone squared away?
All systems and stations report ready, Captain. No immediate concerns or issues to report. Commander, the Shran seems to be feeling a little under the weather, though.
Who do we have on shift to hold him over for Alpha? I would think Tyrol.
Cute.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
And I can always back him up if necessary.
Any updates from Lieutenant Sursa regarding any security flags that wasn't already in the report?
Negative, Captain.
And any personnel issues from Lieutenant Vogel?
None that she's reported, Captain.
All right, and I see that the doctors come aboard. Have you interviewed them since the intake? Spoken with them, I guess, a better way to say than interview.
Yes, Captain. I had the doctor accompanied myself and other members of the crew on a mission just recently. The doctor performed admirably. He seems to dislike the transporter, though.
Well, we'll work him out of that yet. By the way, I am still waiting on your log entry from your previous mission. It might have been lost in the Elcars, so you may have to resubmit it.
Understood, Captain.
All right. Get the ship ready to go, and check all stations, and set course for at standard cruising speed. We don't need to push the engines too hard. We need them to last rather than get there fast. Taps at the computer a little bit. Going to sector 417 at normal cruise once everyone's ready to move.
Hi, Captain. When do you want to leave Starbase?
As soon as we're everyone's aboard and we're all stations report green. There's no orders holding us here right now.
Very well. Will there be anything further?
Yes, call up the doctor and counselor. I want to have a word with them.
Yes, sir.
Oh, any addendum to the officers in question that I should be aware of? You worked with them more than I have so far.
They are all performing their duties as expected, Captain, or exceeding expectations in many cases.
What expectations did you have, Commander?
That all members of the crew perform above average for Starfleet personnel. We are an above average ship. We should have an above average crew.
Very good, Commander. You're dismissed. Shakes his head.
And once Sly gets on the bridge, set on the comm, all stations report readiness to depart. Captain Brightman to the captain's ready room, please.
Understood. On the way. Is the counselor here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can meet you on the way up instead of having to meet you for the first time as we're being interrogated.
So I guess we both enter the turbo lift then.
Probably not knowing you yet, but I think you could probably assume, going off of your rank in the color blue, she will say, "Good morning, Doctor."
Good morning. You are?
My name is Tala. I'm going to be serving with you as a counselor.
Ah, excellent. Chief Medical Officer Brightman. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. And she will you'll also notice she'll be wearing civilian clothing as opposed to a Starfleet uniform. And she does not look you in the eyes, although she is facing towards you. She doesn't look you in the eyes.
Okay. And he's standing in that very traditional, back very straight, feet shoulder length apart, hands clasped behind his back. Not necessarily distant, just trying to be formal.
Sometime I would like to take a tour of the medical bay with you, although I imagine I'll be spending only limited time there. I would like to see the ship's facilities. I hope they're modern for a ship of this class.
They are. And you're more than welcome to tour the facilities. If I have time, I'll be glad to show you around myself. And with you serving as counselor, I'm sure there'll probably be times that you're needed in sick bay. So, wise idea to familiarize yourself. I'm assuming that you were summoned to the ready room as well.
Yes. Well, I guess then we have each other to go through meeting the captain with. Always nice to have a friend.
You're right about that. First interview with a CO is always nerve wracking, no matter how many times you've done it.
Well, I would expect that from most people, I guess. Now that I think about it, Doctor, I do imagine he's more scared of you than you are of him. Because with you coming on board, that means a new round of examinations.
That's an entertaining way of looking at it. He holds my career in his hands, and I hold how thorough of a checkup he gets in mine. I guess we're well matched in that one.
Well, maybe between the two of us, we can corral him to get him down to sick bay sometime.
I've never met a commanding officer who showed up voluntarily, so it might actually take both of us. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Then when the doors open, I'll let the doctor go first.
Oh, no, ma'am. Never. Please, go ahead.
Then I'll go beep the captain's door.
Insert beepy noise here.
Come in.
I'll walk in and
I'm right behind.
I will get some. I'll walk over to the replicator and say, one. It's gonna escape me. She'll order a Vulcan tea and then sit down at the captain's desk.
The doctor takes a position directly behind the guest chair, hand still behind his back, and says, Lieutenant Commander Dr. Alex Brightmoon, reporting as ordered, sir.
She'll look back at the doctor and then look at the captain and and Tala, your new counselor, sir.
Good
Lieutenant
morning.
Commander, if it's necessary.
It is. Thank you for informing me. Please, both of you, have a seat. And doctor, if you wish to grab something, feel free.
I'm all right, but thank you for the offer. He takes a seat.
All right, I've just been looking over your file again. I've had to play a bit of catch up in the various reports from your last mission. And Tala, I believe you just joined us today, or just yesterday.
Yes, I've just arrived on board. Only had time to deposit my things and come meet you. And yeah, while she's speaking to you, also she won't be looking you directly in the eyes.
He kind of glances up and blinks for a second, like as it suddenly dawns on him. Oh, right. Looks at the file. It actually just says it right there. Right? So, couple reasons I wanted to call the both of you here as the representatives of the dual representatives of the medical department. I wish to welcome you to the new mission profile in the Tenshi. I know, Dr. Brightmoon, you've been with us in a previous mission already, but this shall be our first leg of our expedition, as it were. I will have to say that for the time being, as you may already be aware, our medical facilities here are minimal compared to most ships of our size. And I'll be putting in for more improvements in that area if the need arises. But if we're able to manage with the resources we have, I'd rather focus our efforts on our flight and engineering departments, as well as not pulling away from our sensor duties. So that's why your staff is, frankly, it's going to be the two of you plus what few people you have with you. I was wondering if you had any input or insight on how we could make best use of the personnel we have.
I follow a philosophy of medical intervention only when necessary, so I don't think the harsh conditions will impede my work.
And if you'll notice, Captain, there is already an note on my file where I have strongly objected to the prioritization of equipment over people. Medical facilities on a ship of this size should not be sacrificed for sensors. But I understand with our mission profile, cuts had to be made somewhere. I just would have preferred they not been in my sick bay.
I would have preferred that as well, but when we refit from our CNE profile, we had to put in a lot more command functions throughout the computer system and improve the flight system and expand the astronavigation department, which means we basically had to lose sickbay 2 and storage bays beta through gamma. So that made allocating resources part of the reason why I couldn't show up right away. But if you want, I will take your request for more medical facilities under advisement. I'll see if we can get either more supplies or we can find somewhere to trim down a bit to give a bit more space to sickbay. I don't like the idea of being without a more than one surgery bed, to put it that way. At least not on a ship this size.
Well, I'm glad we see eye to eye on that, Captain. I will endeavor to do my best. I just wanted my objections to be recorded.
Very good. Looking at your files, says here, Doctor, that you're a standard xenobiologist, trauma surgeon. You seem to have a counseling master's as well. But you do seem to have some field medical training as well.
Yes.
So do you have any objections to going on away missions? I know you went on one before, but I don't know how much you wanted to keep doing that.
Well, like you said, it's me and a handful of nurses, so no, I don't mind, even though the necessity would override that objection were to exist.
Lieutenant Commander Tala, or just Tala, I suppose. Looking at your file, well, I'll ask the obvious question, and I apologize if I'm being crass, but how is it you're able to navigate your duties given your condition? I mean, you're highly ranked. I mean, you didn't get here by accident. You must have found some way to acclimate.
I'm sorry, condition?
Your lack of sight, or visual sight, I guess is a better way to put it. It's not really clear in the file.
Yes,
I'm not a medical expert, so I wanted to ask your more learned opinion.
The confusion may be that I'm not an Endorian. I'm Anar. I do not use light to see my surroundings. I have other ways of sensing. It's somewhat difficult to describe to someone who can't experience it.
If someone, this is an out of character question, if someone is familiar with the Anar, is she obviously an Anar? Like white instead of blue?
Oh yeah, color and the notches in the antennae.
Okay.
Anar. I believe you're the first person of your species I've encountered. I thought.
We number only in the tens of thousands, so it's more than possible.
Well, do you have any special requests of your duty, or do you want the standard roster of duties as usual? Away missions, your standard seeing to the mental health of the crew, etc.
There's nothing to impede my duties on the ship, other than I am an objector to violence, so I won't be able to help in that manner. But in all other duties, there's no impediments.
Do you object to carrying a phaser as a tool?
If it was necessary, but as Starfleet does not seem it necessary for me to carry around a plasma torch as a tool when it's very unlikely that I'll ever need to use a plasma torch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a phaser will be necessary. If I ever need to cut a hole in something, I'm sure I will find a phaser nearby or a ready and willing tactical officer who is waiting to use it nearby that I can enlist.
Very good. I'll tag that in your file in the event Mr. Solon isn't aware of it, just so he knows that not to. In previous commands, I'll admit to you that I usually would prefer to have all away team members be armed, if only for appearances. But I don't enjoy pressing a weapon into someone's hand if they have a ethical or moral objection to holding one, especially someone of the medical staff. If anyone's supposed to be unarmed, it's you guys, really.
Well, I will always endeavor to find a solution that does not require us to constantly be armed or employ violence, and I'll counsel as such.
I'll be sure to try to do the same. Any other notes either of you wish to add that I need to be aware of regarding your department or duties?
I don't see an updated medical record for you, Captain, but I'm sure we can address that shortly.
Oh, that's right. Actually, depending on our arrival time, if we have a few days, I would like to schedule a meeting with both of you. I'd like to get my physical and mental evaluation in. I haven't really gotten one since I re-enlisted, or got my commission back, rather. Shakes his head. So, technically, my last one wasn't that long ago, but it lapsed because I resigned, so I technically need a new one before the admiral yells at me. So the sooner I get that in, the better. But don't you let me know when you're good, and I'll try to fit you. I'll fit you in as soon as I can. The commander should be able to keep the bridge warm while in transit.
I have a feeling there is a warm cup of tea and a long story in our future.
I beg your pardon. I'm not familiar with the phrase.
Oh, it just means I would really like to hear the story behind that rather ambiguous statement of uh, losing your commission and getting it back. And the warm cup of tea was simply, I find many races are more comfortable with tea than they are with coffee. And so I've just defaulted to cup of tea and a long story.
The counselor will kind of like give the toasting motion.
Well, I'm certain it'll be a conversation I'll have to have with Counselor Tala here. But if you wish to have a more informal explanation, I do take morning my morning breakfast in the mess hall, so if you want to ask. Although, please don't ask me while we're in the middle of our physical. I try to be very focused on the task at hand.
Good to know. I'll make a note of both, or all three, actually.
Yes. If there's nothing else, you're both dismissed.
Thank you, Captain. Counselor, any gestures toward the door?
I'll leave.
Oh, one last thing. Send your times to Lieutenant Vocal, and then she can pass them up the chain through Solon then to me, just to
Very
keep
well.
everything organized. And he'll kind of follow out after them as he's stepping onto the bridge.
Yeah, captain on the bridge.
Status update?
All stations report ready. Cargo bays are fully loaded and secured. We are ready to depart, sir.
Sarissa, there hasn't happened to been any security updates regarding where we're going by sheer chance?
Negative, sir.
Well, that's a good sign. No one beat us there yet. Very well. Set course. Cruising speed. Engage when ready.
Real quick though, because you're still inside Starbase 200.
Every time.
Every time. I think Prax wanted me and Salon to act out our bit we were doing in text.
Yes.
Request doors open and ahead 1/4 impulse, I believe is the orders you were looking for.
Thrusters only in space dock is what I.
Oh, you're right. That got away from me. Wow. I haven't been Trek checked in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Vogel, contact Starbase. Contact Starbase and obtain permission for us to depart.
Yes, Commander.
This is Starbase 200 docking control. USS Tenshi, you are cleared to depart.
Understood,
Well,
Starbase Control.
Helm clear all moorings. Depart Starbase. Thrusters only. Once we've cleared Starbase, set course for Sector 417. Warp 6.
Docking moorings retracted.
Correction, helm. Cruising will be warp factor 8, not 6. Continues tapping at his pad, just half listening, half reading what he's doing.
The counselor's gonna kind of turn towards the commander to see if the commander has any reaction to being corrected so quickly or countermanded so quickly.
The Vulcan reacts not at all.
Yeah, this guy achieved Culinar.
The Tenshi slowly glides out of space dock. And as you look on the view screen, you see the doors slowly open and slowly see stars just up ahead. And
Impulse engine standing by. Warp power standing by.
Commander, if you would.
Take us to sector 417, helm. Warp 8. Engage.
Would travel time be like readily accessible to a department head, or is that something I would need to roll for?
I will give you the information real quick. One second, doing math.
Never do math on stream.
It's because I wrote the session hastily and forgot to actually write that down.
Are you using the handy dandy speed calculator?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring everything to a crashing halt.
It's estimated we'll be in the sector in roughly 12 days, Doctor.
Very good.
There should be plenty of time to update the medical files on our new crew members. Perhaps our new old captain as well.
Indeed.
Then the counselor is going to shoot off a request to, I guess, down to Lieutenant Vogel to have the captain come to the med bay later today, and then she will leave.
Oh, I do like how the left nacelle's handling.
The doctor is staying on like the upper horseshoe and just kind of watching what's going on. Staying out of the way, but watching what's going on.
Commander, have we had a test of the backup EPS conduits yet? Outside of Doc?
We have not, Captain.
All right. Organize that through Vogel and make sure that the system is properly will function down the line. I know the Stardock people like to have already done their check, but we probably should do our own since we have a few hours. We have a bit of time ahead of us.
Very well, Captain. How much would you like how much would you like me to stress the system and testing?
Stay within regulation. Maybe like don't bring down the whole system to diagnostic 1, but give it a good thorough look. Make sure it functions the way we want it to. Since all the other systems seem to be fairly stable and some of it's installed in the pods, we should be okay. Unless you have any complaints to lodge there, Vogel, about the shifting of our systems.
No, sir. Engineering is actually looking forward to testing the new systems.
Very good.
And Commander Thashran has things well in hand in the engine room. Well enough that he can afford to be out sick for a couple of days.
Well, we tried our best, but the Andorian flu is rather persistent once you catch it.
I'm surprised bed rest is still the most common treatments for it. I mean, it was like that back in, goodness, 5, 10 years ago.
Well, medicine does make advances from time to time, but sometimes when you have a disease that draws away from the body's ability to produce, I guess energy would be the right word, um, you just need to use what energy you can to focus on trying to get better.
Mm. Commander, any messages from the yeoman regarding my schedule for today? Any department meetings I need to deal with beyond the one I just did just now?
Nothing outside of the normal schedule, Captain. You'll have plenty of time to get down to medical.
Yeah. All right. In that case, you have the bridge commander. No sense delaying this meeting. I'll walk off the bridge and head down to bed.
Lieutenant Vogel, shall we commence testing the new EPS conduit?
Aye, sir. Engineering is standing by.
Give me control plus engineering difficulty of 1 to start running the test for the EPS conduit.
I'll give you a threat. Try to get some momentum out of this. Power management for a focus.
Sure. All right, 2 momentum has been gained. And engineering reports that the test has been successful. That they were able to readily switch between the backups and back to main power at a moment notice. Or primary EPS conduits.
Engineering is reporting success with the EPS simulation, Commander.
2 more momentum was gained. Is there any other additional roleplay on the bridge?
Lieutenant Sarissa, how's the new shields holding up?
They function as expected on paper. There's one way to test them, and that would be throwing something heavy at them. Well, that's one reliable way to test them.
I'm sure I could find us a nice asteroid field for you if you'd like.
I could do that if the captain would approve of such a thing. He may not approve of finding an asteroid large enough to cause substantial damage to the hull.
I agree. Perhaps we should start with smaller asteroids. Or perhaps you would like us to find some pirates to convince to shoot at it.
I'm much more in favor of not being shot at. We'll use the shields when we need to use them. I have confidence in their installation and being just an extension of our previous systems.
I agree. Perhaps the captain will later give us a chance to test the new maximum speed.
I think we're not trying to shoot at stuff. I think we're trying to let stuff hit the shields.
Well, that.
What?
So
We could reasonably just send a shuttle out, just put up the shields and have it shoot at
Yeah, true.
We have 13 momentum. It'd be a great time for the Borg to drop by and test the shields.
uh, I'll use I use a momentum turn on my cautious. Is this diff 1 because of the are the sensors helping?
yes, sorry. This is by ship sensors plus science.
So would this be diff 1?
Yes, because you do have advanced sensors.
Cool.
4 momentum gained.
Momentum for days.
And yes, you find a suitable location to test the shield out.
There we go. A nice cluster of micrometeorites. Think that'll do the trick with the shields. It's a slight course alteration, but it shouldn't delay us too long.
Indeed. Raise shields and proceed.
shields raised.
Transferring coordinates to the helm.
Before Cersei, do you wish to do any modifications, modulate the shields?
I
Up to-
probably should do that, yes, now I think about it. Just to make sure we don't take any damage. I
Control security assisted by the ship's structure plus security. Difficulty 2. I am checking.
Shipboard tactical.
I will take that.
And I'll use a momentum rather than give you a threat. Don't bite me. Thank you.
Structure security.
Ah, I see. Mm-hmm.
You did gain a momentum.
I think we can just squish that. Yeah.
All right. You gain 1 additional resistance to the ship. Do you wish to add any more? If you wish to add more resistance, it is 1 momentum per resistance point.
What are we expecting from micrometeorites, Vogel?
Well,
The
we
sh-
should increase power to the structural integrity field just in case.
But the shield should be able to handle any micrometeorites that might hit us.
We can leave it at resistance 6 then, yeah. Should be good.
So you're just doing the 1?
Yeah.
Are you sending any alerts as you're heading towards a cluster of micrometeorites?
Blue would be environmental, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah, probably a blue alert then. Right, Commander?
Blue alert is appropriate, Lieutenant.
Captain to the bridge. Report.
Captain, we're merely testing the new shielding systems. No reason to be alarmed.
The glowing blue lights would disagree with you, Commander. What exactly are we testing against?
Micrometeors, Captain.
Very good. Anything comes up, if anything pierces the shields and scratches up the paint, you're going out to fix it. Captain out.
Helm adjust heading is necessary. If we scratch the hull, Lieutenant Vogel, you'll hold the paint can.
Yes, sir.
The con officer is a little squeamish for a Vulcan as she guides the ship straight towards a cluster of micrometeorites, like going, "Why are we doing this?"
I think this goes against everything I've been trained to do.
Yeah, it goes against reason. And there's a nice, nasty cluster. Higher load. Depends on the.
She has glancing impact. We'll be fine.
It's not that much of a cluster. The ship takes the shield's hold as micrometers are bounced off the shield.
Shield's holding. And no significant. No, actually, no penetration at all.
Any unusual power fluctuations in the shielding system?
None that I am seeing here, Commander. Everything seems to be as expected.
Very well. Helm resume our original course. Stand down from blue alert.
And Vogel next to you, you can see it. You can hear a bit of exhale from your Vulcan partner next to you as the ship goes back into warp.
She's an ensign, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or a lieutenant, junior grade, one or the other.
Trying to find her.
Ensign.
Don't worry, Ensign. It was only micrometeors. Nothing you can't handle.
It seems rather illogical to hit them.
Perhaps, Ensign. But simulations can only teach us so much. Ship systems occasionally need to be tested using real environmental hazards, with minimal risk to the ship, of course.
Of course, sir. And as the ship continues on its destination, we'll head to sick bay.
I guess what's left of it.
It's over this way. And down this way. Well, there it is. Actually, I had to move the room around. Chimes the door.
I do not know who that is.
It's another council of the ship. Of course, Tala. These are the recent medical files and all the regular stuff. And as that happens, she's going through the routine procedures and door chimes.
Enter. In fact, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say like going forward, unless there is counseling actively going on, then the door's not gonna require you to beep. Yeah,
He's just
I will.
he's being excessively polite.
I'll turn and like change that so that it automatically opens.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I will leave it to you, Captain.
Counselor?
Uh,
Counselor?
I certainly am getting to see you a lot today, Captain. And I'm going to refresh my drink. Would you like anything to drink, Captain?
A Thatton protein supplement. Let's go with 5 today.
I'll wait for it to materialize and then hand it back. Would you prefer Captain, or is there something more casual?
In this case, just the Thatton is fine, given our current command dynamic, as it were. Takes a seat.
And more generally?
More generally, captain, and when not in a medical or counseling capacity. We don't know each other well enough to be on a first name basis, but I get the feeling my understanding of modern counseling techniques is to let down the rank a little bit to not keep things on ceremony when it comes to mental health. A lot of captains don't like doing that.
Would you prefer to keep a rank structure in place?
No, I'll be fine for now. It's more maintaining discipline outside of the counseling room.
Do you feel the title helps in maintaining discipline? Have you ever noticed the edge start to chip off of subordinates once decorum is dispensed with?
For officers, yes. I find officers tend to take comfort in the rank, knowing where everyone is, who's where, who's doing what, who has command over whom. I tend to I tried for a short bit when I was a captain to drop the rank around the enlisted and the junior ranks, but that tended I found that made people more jumpy. They started trying to invent nicknames and then felt awkward about it. So I just had them go by rank again. But the only people who don't mind calling me not by my rank are usually my exos or the medical staff. And even then, Desmond still refers to me by captain. I've actually been called captain even when I resigned. People take comfort in the title and all that's attached to it. To me, it's just a tool, an extension of what I need to do.
Well, Captain it is then. Do you mind sharing your thoughts non-verbally, or do you prefer to keep communication verbal?
I'm not a practiced telepath, so I'm not sure I'd be able to respond back clearly. But if it helps you get a better picture of my mental state, then feel free to peer.
Then GM, I'm going to continue to speak verbally, but I'm going whenever he's talking, I'm just going to be focused on what he's thinking about.
Okay.
Was Starfleet able to provide you with resources after your journey to another universe?
My capture was actually, I did have to do a debrief interview with the counselor on Starbase 200 to make sure I wasn't brainwashed or otherwise influenced, and also checking up on my mental health. Apparently, I have what did she say? She said I have an increased measure of boldness and while endangering on recklessness, I think was the phrasing. Although I don't see how I'm being particularly reckless. I'm just beyond the fact that I'm going back into danger and venturing out into space again. But I'm not the medical expert, so.
Were you able to effect your own release, or did you need to be aided?
I'm not sure I follow.
Were you able to escape your captors actively, or were you rescued in a manner which you were not able to influence?
A bit of both, honestly. The initial escape was something I helped with initially, along with other officers who were captured with us. But the ultimate rescue was via the ship that had come to our rescue before, and the crews involved. But the initial escape was something I proactively did, even though I was a civilian at the time. Training told me that effecting escape as soon as was possible was the better strategic option or tactical option. So I just fell back on it, and it seemed to work. I mean, some people died along the way outside of my influence, so that was a frustrating thing to deal with, but I've made my relevant reports to my superiors. They'll deal with it as they see fit.
Do you feel like you were able to control the situation once you started affecting your escape? Or did events just move past you as you tried to make your way out?
I felt a certain level of control, but I understand. I've been advised that control can be an illusion. One can think that there's control when ultimately your sphere of influence is larger than it really is. So, to be truthful, I will say I can answer that I was able to influence where I was going and what I was doing, and trying to inspire those around me to do the same. Whether they did that or not is ultimately up to them. So I was in control of myself, if nothing else.
Did you feel like you had to move beyond what you were capable of or what you wanted to do to get them to follow or you or inspire them?
Um, I don't believe so. I think I exerted as much influence as I reasonably could have while maintaining my cover, as it were, at the time as a civilian. At the time, they were suspecting that I was still a captain, and I was worried of agents provocateur that were trying of the Mirrorverse officers to influence me into helping them give information. But Starfleet officers they were, and they acted on advice that I gave them as a civilian. How much they actually thought they were answering me because they thought I was still a captain on some sort of secret mission? He shrugs. I'm not entirely certain.
Well, I think we're good for now. I think you're more than fit, at least as far as Starfleet deems it necessary to captain a starship, which is actually a quite stringent set of rules. Um, the only things I would ask you to think about as you're going about your duties, while some captains do find it necessary to maintain rigid structures, and rigid structures do help new captains integrate themselves uh, by forcing their officers to respect the rank rather than the being, to maintain order when no one knows what personalities or experiences are in play. Once your crew does learn what personalities and experiences are in play, those will become more important than whatever rank structure Starfleet can provide. I would explore that. Um, Not every captain is going to find that possible, and some will find it possible to different degrees, but it's worth exploring. And I would look when you're in a situation to make sure you're um, leading by example, but not trying to overinflate your examples so that it looks like it needs to be followed. I think your crew will follow you, whatever you do. You don't need to act the hero.
I will keep those things in mind, counselor.
As you continue your examination, and I'm going to cut back to you guys. So, on the bridge,
Commander, long-range sensors is detecting a Class 4 ion storm along our current heading.
stalling again.
What risk does this pose to the ship?
A very sizable one, sir. This is a Class 4 storm.
Very well. Helm, alter course to take us around the storm at a safe distance.
Aye, sir, and need to make a reason plus con difficulty of 3. This is the way the ship's computers plus con to plot a new course.
Stellar cartography for a focus, or astrophysics. That might be a better one.
Yeah, it's more like astronavigation.
Don't have that if that's what you're looking for. I'll give you a threat and 2 momentum. And what was the ship?
Computers con.
Oh, turns out my technical expertise. I'll re-roll my roll. No, I'll re-roll the ship because it has a focus technically. There we go.
To moment again, you successfully plot a course around the ion storm.
Vogel, I'm picking up something faint over here. It looks like a transmission of some description. It's very faint, though.
I'll see if I can boost the sensor resolution.
That would be a control plus engineering difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's comms plus engineering.
Control engineering, you say?
Yes.
I'll use a momentum. And you said someone got it. You said comms, right?
Yes, comms plus engineering.
Alright, I don't have a reroll then.
One momentum was gained, though.
I tried to boost as best I can. How's that?
Checking. It's a distress call. The SS Aquila.
Do you have a location?
Going through the message now.
That's a momentum spend.
Sure. They're within the ion storm.
Lieutenant Plummet intercept course. Commander Salon to Captain.
Captain, here, go ahead.
Captain, we've received a distress signal coming from inside a Class 4 iron storm. You may wish to come to the bridge, sir. I ordered us to alter course to intercept.
All right. Call ship to red alert and start pulling up the file on that ship. See what's doing this far out.
Affirmative.
I'll be up shortly.
Sloan will press the appropriate red alert button on the arm of his chair.
Is it red alert?
Athan's calling for it because of an emergency.
All right.
Lieutenant Vogel, can you bring up the files on that ship and its current mission, please?
Begin looking into those. I do have to go mobile.
I will follow the captain to the bridge.
And I will raise shields as red alert requires. And power weapons, actually, because that's also red alert.
Yeah.
To research the Aquila, it's going to be a reason plus con. This is with the ship's computers plus con difficulty of 1.
Did you say diff 1?
Yes, diff 1.
Someone can just roll that straight up for me.
And
And I should have a reroll of technical expertise if we need it.
It says, whomsoever has access to the Vogel sheet.
yeah, I have a Vogel sheet. Control con.
Reason con.
Reason con. Was there buying of dice? Sorry. Nope.
No, with a diff 1, I should be able to get this straight up with my technical expertise
You
reroll.
got it. You hit 2 successes. Oh, right, computer's gone. I can hit that.
Good God. 1 float.
Ship said yes.
Put the stress signal on speakers.
I'm playing the stress signal now.
This is the SS Aquila. We are a research vessel trapped in the center of an ion storm. To any vessel within range, we require assistance. Our power reserves are running low. We are not sure how much longer we can hold out. Please help us. And then the message repeats.
As it starts to repeat, I'll just quiet that down again.
They'll engage that altered course of maximum warp as long as it is safe to do so. Send a message to the Aquila, letting them know we're on our way.
Walk onto the bridge.
Captain on the bridge.
Update on that ship.
Sir, distress signal reports that they are trapped within the ion storm and losing power. We are proceeding to their last known position at maximum warp. Lieutenant Vogel, what have you uncovered about the ship and its mission, please?
I'm driving, so if you send it to me, I can't exactly look at it at the moment.
I'll speak it out. The Aquila is an Earth-class starship. Was refitted a few years ago for civilian service. The vessel is technically a research vessel under the command of Captain / Dr. Rachel Taylor.
The ship's looking like it's a refit Oberth, sir, pressed into civilian service. I forgot the doctor's name, but I mentioned that.
Rachel Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor.
Under command of Dr. Rachel Taylor.
Anything on the file on what they're doing out here?
Say again, Commander.
Anything in the file indicating what they're doing out here, what their current mission is?
Can that be my free question for a position?
Or float. You do have a float. So they are currently engaged in research of stellar, essentially space whales.
Ah. Mine's easier to say.
Why I went with space whales.
Helm, time to intercept.
One other question for you, Lieutenant Vogel. According to the specs we have on file, about how long can they withstand a class 4 hazard like that?
Free question for Studious.
Not long. Probably 4 or 5 hours at best.
Estimate they have 4 hours at most, Captain.
Is there a way to get a rough estimate on how long they have been in there?
That is kind of impossible from the Driscoll.
Yeah, I figured.
We'd have to talk to them.
I figured.
Commander, we should be arriving there within a half hour.
Plus 4 ion storm. What can we do to prepare for that?
Vogel, what kind of hazards are we looking at going into this type of nebula? Are we worried about it piercing through our shields or damaging our sensor arrays?
We could expect heavy turbulence, energy shock waves, power discharges. And it being a class 4, sir, they will be severe.
Ion storm.
I can put up shields and pre-modulate them, but if we have to beam their crew over, that won't last.
We might be able to extend our shields around their ship, and then we might be able to transport them over.
That is possible, yes.
Is it possible you could configure the shields in such a way that they are, we can keep them up and then extend it out around them without dropping the shields?
It's feasible to extend the shield bubble. Potentially more feasible with these modifications we've taken. But
All right.
Putting it in practice will be something to see.
All right. Begin your configuration of the shields and get ready to extend. But we'll have a backup plan of dropping the shields and popping them back on as swiftly as possible. But let's see if we can get that first plan done first.
Shall I proceed with modulation as well to see if we can take more of a hit before anything happens?
Yes. In either event, we'll need that. We'll need as much of a shield up, as intense a shield output as we can. Doctor, I'm going to want you to be ready to take on as many of their injured as possible. We don't know yet, until we have an investigation of their craft, we don't know if they can actually handle their own wounded. We may have to take them on, so if you need to allocate more space for emergency beds. We should have enough. We should still be rated for evacuating a large number of people.
Understand, Captain. I'll head down to sick bay, and I'll have one of my medical crewmen see if we can find an empty cargo bay.
It's only like 20 people.
Forgive my ignorance, Captain. Is it feasible to pull them back out with the energy and oxygen they have, or is it entirely necessary to mount rescue inside the storm?
I want to have, if they are stable enough to be moved, that would be more ideal, to grab them with our tractor beam and just haul them out with us. But given the intensity of this storm, the Oberth might give out before it gets out of the system. So I want to have a plan in place to have them off the ship if we're moving it. If it's feasible to move them without having to beam them over, that'd be ideal. But I got a funny feeling that this is going to be a little more chaotic than even the distress signal is warning us.
It is being prepared for the worst.
And also, Counselor, are you empathic at all?
Yes, I'm able to read others' minds, but only with consent. Which, I mean, saying that, you might realize why she asked you before.
Yeah. In that case, I would simply ask you to alert us if there is a risk of panic from their side, or a heightened sense of panic coming off of their ship, without necessarily having to identify anyone in particular. But sometimes people in a crisis might be, if pushed to desperation, might do something not necessarily to their benefit.
I will do my best, although I will have to say, inability to shut oneself off from the thoughts of others is a trait of species more like the beta-zids. I have to make a conscious effort, not an unconscious effort. So I might not be able to proactively search their feelings without speaking to them.
That's fine. Do what you can, Counselor. So we have.
Keep in mind, with being a class 4 ion storm, that's difficulty increase for using transporters.
Mm-hmm.
+4 if we're right, I think. Like, it's straight up in difficulty increase of 4, isn't it?
Yes, straight up difficulty increase of 4.
Yeah. Which I think for almost every scenario except the perfect scenario makes it impossible for us. I mean, without like super rolls and lots of determination.
Yeah. Lieutenant Vogel, I want you to work with Khan and try to chart two paths. One, the safest path through the storm once we're within range, that minimizes danger to the ship, stay away from the dense areas, and then, if possible, try to chart or prepare to chart us a way out with or without the Oberth in tow.
With the ever-changing nature of the storm, sir, charting a course is going to be extremely difficult. I would recommend that we chart the ebbs and flows of the storm itself and try to navigate around those.
Proceed as you best see fit. I just want to make sure we minimize the effect this thing's going to have on us and get in and out as quickly as we can.
On that, I most heartedly agree with you, sir.
Commander, I want you to send off a report to Starfleet Command regarding our current situation. If they have any updates for us, to tell them to give us a priority one message back on any information that we don't already have. Also, I want you to prepare in the event that an emergency team needs to be sent over. I want you to have a away team ready to go if necessary.
Understood, Captain.
I believe you all have your orders. Engage them to your best ability.
GM, is it possible using the talent fellowship specialty in neuropsychology/psychiatry to spend 1 momentum on an advantage that just a general advantage for the captain to use if he has to do any task that would induce stress or have to be done, really quickly or in a stressful manner?
Possible. 1 second. I'm gonna look up the talent real quick.
Yeah, it just reduces the amount of momentum that needs to be spent if the focus is relevant. It's not the super one that.
Positive.
Yeah.
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 It's not
No.
positive reinforcement.
I just want to make sure there wasn't anything special or anything else special with it.
None of us are special.
Yeah. I would say make this presence plus medicine difficulty of 1 to create that advantage, which will lower the difficulty of the captain's task if he has to make a specific or has a specific task that is a high stress induced situation, and there's 2 float.
Yeah, I'll just put the 2 float. I'll double the advantage if you'll allow it. Or instead, can I? This might be a long shot, but can I create the same advantage, but say that it's available to either Vogel or Sarissa, since the captain seems more calm, that they.
I would only allow it for the captain because you're
Yeah.
the only person you've kind of talked to.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll just double that then, because otherwise it'll just disappear.
Yeah. So he gets 2 tasks instead of 1.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, move to the next scene. So you go down 1 momentum.
You should have asked the question of what my favorite color was. Wasted question.
You come outside the outskirts of the ion storm, and strangely enough, the ion storm does not appear to be actually moving, according to your sensor readings. It seems to be stationary and appears to be some sort of. Sensors are confusing, but there might be a safe zone in the center of it.
Huh. Captain, it would appear that the storm is not moving, and it appears to be acting almost like a hurricane on Earth. There appears to be a eye to this, so to speak.
Is it possible this is artificial in nature?
It's probable, sir. Most ion storms are caused from solar mass ejections from stars, and therefore would be traveling throughout space.
Give me a new sensor ping sweep of the area. Let's confirm the ship's if it's in the path of the storm or if it happens to be in the eye.
I will sensor sweep.
That will be a reason science difficulty of 5. Brought down by 1, so diff 4. This is by the ship's sensors plus science.
How about a burned? How about a value spend? Information is the key to overcoming any obstacle.
Sure.
I don't think testing our theory would apply here, but that would also be a spend, so I don't think it'd be free. How much momentum we have?
5.
Oh, okay. So I got 2 successes. I could probably get 2. Let's go ahead and spend 2 momentum to turn on cautious, and then I should have 2 rerolls with technical expertise and cautious.
Two more. 3. So 5 total.
Any misses?
No.
I mean, yes.
Well, a 0, yeah. Sorry, I think miss. I think
Yeah.
complication. My bad.
I could re-roll those, so if you'd like, I have 2 re-rolls.
Hey, you have 2 of them. Why not? And that became a hit.
2 momentum gained, and at the center, you detect the Aquila along with 7 whales, space whales.
They really follow space whales into an ion storm.
I am detecting the ship in the middle of the ICER, and I'm also detecting 7 of the space whales they were studying.
GM, is it possible? This may be too far away. Is it possible to see what the space whales are thinking and doing?
You're too far away.
Okay.
Can I use one of my free questions to determine the condition of the ship?
No. It's just you're pretty too far out on there. I will give you this though. It seems like they're in an area of calmness. But it does seem that the area that they're in is not natural.
Am I detecting any artificial structures?
No, you're only detecting the ship and the whales in the center of it, and you're detecting a lot of, ionic activity, especially at a sort of almost circle-ish border around in the area.
Yes.
Do the space whales produce any noises that carry over long distances or signals? Not like vocalizations or anything.
You're not close enough to it.
Okay.
Are we close enough to identify the species of the whale, if it's known to us right now, or know the star?
You need closer scannings of it. It just, the computers know, like, hey, this is a space mammal, aka space whale. That's literally all it's coming up with.
I imagine once we get close enough, though, we will know, because it's a Federation citizens in there studying them, so they probably shared preliminary research already.
Any chance we can get a channel link to the Aquila through this?
That will be
even basic text.
That will be a control plus engineering difficulty of 4, assisted by the ship's communications plus engineering.
Did you guys need me to roll this?
You might be the best bet for it, really.
You are the commander.
Was it control engineering?
Yes, control engineering.
That'd be like a 14.
Well, why don't you let
Okay.
Salon give it a try? What's the difficulty?
4. Kind of break through the interference of the ion storm.
I take a determination spend on this. No such thing as the unknown, only the temporarily hidden.
You already know it, so I don't think that would apply here.
I mean, they don't know that there's a means to get a signal through the storm.
That was kind of what I was thinking. All right, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna difficulty 4, and a minimum I got to give you. So it's how much does it spend to get to 5? It's 3 spends to get to 4, so 6 to get to 5.
Yes, 6 total to get to 5.
Let me give you 3 momentum and 3 threat.
And the ship, I believe, helps comms engineering.
Yes,
Yeah,
comms
I need to-
engineering. Got it. There is a complication, though.
If we can, it's a bad storm to have a complication in.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sorry to spend all of our momentum that way, though.
Nah. It's what's there for. It's to be spent.
This is Dr. Taylor. We're receiving you.
I'm Captain Athaton of the USS Tenshi. What's your situation, Doctor?
Stable for the moment, but our energy supplies are vastly depleting quickly. We appreciate any help here.
Could you beam over your sensor records since you've encountered this hazard? Also, do you have any idea of the motivation of the creatures that are around your vessel? Did they come to your rescue, or?
Actually, quite the opposite, Captain Athaton. We are currently. This species is, from what we can tell, is endangered, so we're trying to protect them until the storm dissipates. But I don't think we're going to hold out until that time. Currently, we're generating a field to create a bubble of safe space for them to roam until the storm dissipates. But the storm has only seemed like it's gained in ferocity.
You said you are emitting a field. Could you pass along your current programming? We might try to do it with our shield systems and try to burrow our way through the storm to you.
Keep in mind, Captain, it's taking all of our energy capabilities just to sit and maintain the field. But I will send over the appropriate data.
Thank you, Captain. Do you have an estimate how long you have in your current system? Or configuration, I should say.
2.5, maybe 3 hours if we divert from life support.
Do you have any injuries or emergency medical situation aboard?
Currently, no, not the time.
Do you feel your ship is safe to move under tractor, or can you move on your own if we were able to take control of the keeping up the shield?
We could definitely try and move and navigate out of the storm if need be.
Very well. Maintain position. We're going to get to you as soon as possible. We've also informed Starfleet of situation. So if additional resources are needed, they'll be en route.
Captain, can we also get their whatever research they can send over on the whales?
Did you catch that, Captain?
We'll definitely try to do that.
Thank you, Captain. Feel free to contact us back. We're going to keep this channel open for as long as we can. We're not sure how likely we're going to get it back. So I'm going to mute you on our end so we can continue, but our staff will be we'll have one of our staff keeping an ear on for this channel if you need to give us any emergency updates.
Of course, and thank you.
Mute the channel. Vogel, either monitor that channel yourself or have someone in the operations department keep an ear out for them in case they need us. I don't want to lose that channel if we with them.
I get.
So to analyze what they're doing right now will be a reason plus science or engineering, difficulty 3, assisted by the ship's computers plus science or engineering.
How much momentum we have?
0.
0. 3 threat, and I'll roll 4 dice.
I'm gonna give you my determination there, Vogel. In case you need to re-roll.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
GM, can I assist as well?
Yeah, you can assist.
How many extra dice? Sorry.
2.
Okay. Science.
Computers, science.
Computers, science.
And I will have a reroll with technical expertise if we need it.
7 hits so far with 1 miss.
Might as well try to reroll the miss. Try to get some more momentum.
That's 6 momentum gained.
That's some.
Went from none to all of the momentum. I will post this in chat as well as read it to you guys.
How dare you?
The Aquila is using the deflector ray to generate an ionic field roughly of 10 kilometers of radius. This bubble is currently what's keeping the ion storm from hitting the ship and the stellar space whales. In the area, however, the effect of the ionic field is causing the ion storm to gather toward it, and it would appear it is taking all the energy output of the Aquila just to maintain the field. The Aquila is a mere few hours just before the power reserves run out, and the ion storm overtakes the area.
One question with one of my frees. Is the field they're generating also keeping the ion storm, keeping it from dissipating?
Yes.
Okay.
It's literally a double-edged sword is what they're doing.
Yeah. That was the other question.
So we can get in there, even if we had the shield up. We need some way to leave behind that field generation so the cloud stays behind us and we can move away from it. Because if we put on the shields that they are, we're just gonna be stuck. This thing's just gonna follow us. Even if we manage to keep the engines up. Could
might
we
be able
Well, go ahead.
we might be able to extend our shields around the whales, and then that would allow them to lower their field, and then we just ride out the storm until it dissipates.
We would have to have some means of having the whales stay within our shields.
I'm looking to work on that. As soon as I can analyze their data, we might be able to influence the whales.
If we can do that, then I will continue looking into extending the shield bubble and having it maintain integrity for an extended period of time. Do we have any idea how long it would take this storm to dissipate once this disturbance being generated by the Aquila is down?
If you will take that as a second question, and if not, I could probably try to figure that.
The storm is getting stronger. Sooner or later, it's going to overtake as it gets stronger and stronger. The field that they're generating, it unfortunately is, the way it's phrased is, um, because of the way they're generating the field, it also adds to the strength of it. But at the same time, it's creating this creates this eye, to where there's a safe harbor within.
Yeah, that's fine. The question is, if they lower the field, can we estimate how long it would take for the storm to dissipate? If they just were to drop it right now, like how long would it take the storm to dissipate?
It would probably take days for it to dissipate at its current strength.
So we'd have to, instead of riding it out, attempt to move out of the storm.
How can we tell what the distance is between the outer edge of the storm and the outer edge of the bubble?
What are you thinking?
I'm wondering, sir, if we could use as an alternate plan, if we could create a stronger anionic field than the one the Aquila is using, to create a passageway for the Aquila and the whales to escape the storm. And then with our much stronger shields, perhaps we can hold the storm in place long enough for them to get safely away, and then we could leave and allow the storm to dissipate naturally.
I like the idea. The problem I have is that I'm afraid that the storm will just wrap around the both of us as a binary field system. Like they'll just cloud around both of us. So they'll get to us, and then that gets them to us, I suppose.
And then would both there be the same as if we just went to them?
My other thought, sir, was if we created a stronger field, could we not pull the storm away? It was an alternate plan.
Well, I'm thinking that because if we can create some way to get either to them or give them a path to us even if it's a small gap, that's enough for us to get to the Aquila, secure it with us, and then we can.
You could. So GM staying here. So each square has a difficulty to move into. You could it'd be a bunch of con checks, but you could ride the rapids per se. And there are methods that you could also do, kind of lower the difficulty by figuring out the best square to move into without having to create the field.
Yeah, sensor check a pass through, buff their shields up, so if we get hit, we don't get hit hard, and then just fly through.
Or you could barrel through it and buff up your shields, and it'd be one check. You'll take damage out, wazoo from it, but
I can buff the shields a lot, boys. It'll be fine.
Let's go with speed here. Let's modulate the shields to be as strong as possible. We'll
Okay.
get in there, throw up the new field so the Aquila doesn't have to keep it up anymore, and then we can worry about enveloping them and getting in contact with the whales, or however it may be, and try to coordinate a way for us to barrel our way back out again, and letting the bubble collapse.
Sounds legit. I can modulate the shields.
Control plus security system by these ships. Structure plus security. Difficulty of 2.
The real question is how many dice do I roll to make even more momentum?
Well, no,
We're at max, so you don't need
Yeah.
to do that.
I might just use one threat, so I've got the reroll. Blah 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 blah. Wow. Wow.
just need the ship.
Oh, was the ship's roll? Sorry.
Structure plus security.
Security. Bang.
Is that a good wow or a bad wow?
That was 2 1s and a 3.
That's 4 momentum gained. He used threats, by the way.
I used a threat, yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Boop. Also,
So-
4 on top of that. So boop.
We're at 10 momentum.
Yep.
Which would make it 6 resistance, and we could 16 resistance
I would just spend the 4 you gained.
and make it a
'cause-
10.
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
resistance is a lot.
You
Yeah.
only have your base is 5.
And
we get one for free.
succeeding.
You get 1 for free, so you're at 6. The 4 float, I'm assuming you're pumping straight in, so that's 10.
Yep.
10
resistance.
I would have to spend threat for extra dice.
Shields unmodulated, Captain.
All right.
So this is going to cost 1 power because you'll have to impulse straight through. I am spending threat to increase the difficulty by 1, so diff 5, complication range of 3.
I hate to lock time to shine. He just flew into one environmental hazard, his another. It was good practice, right?
Was Vogel like the
So
navigator?
push the limit?
We
Push the limits would apply, so diff 4.
Oh, I don't know if she has it. I'm just saying, if she doesn't, we should give it to her.
she doesn't have it.
You can give her push the limits.
Hey, fair enough.
I mean, we did practice, so
Yeah, we did practice. Sure. There we go.
She's slowly crying on the inside. In the Vulcan way.
Someone's gonna have a visit with the counselor soon.
There's only so much Vulcans can suppress.
Whomst wishes to roll her?
You just volunteered yourself.
Okay, so we'll just push the limits to it again.
Lowers difficulty by 1. So diff 4.
Okay. Diff 4, comp 3, got it.
Daring con. Diff 4.
Uh,
Application range 3. Assisted by these ships. Engines plus con.
wait, they have a value of trusting Vogel? Okay.
Some suspicious
Who the heck-
preparation.
who the heck put?
mutiny kind of
I did
stuff.
not put that one. I definitely did not put that.
The value of Sarah Vogel as a naval officer I know I can trust.
Yeah, that came up a while ago. It's been there for a bit.
Yeah, focus and helm
I have
ops.
not upgraded any of the con officers, so I don't know where that came from.
And yes, she will spend various momentum. 5 momentum? Oh, well, I might do 4 momentum and 1 threat. Yeah, do that. Do it that way. Be a smart boy.
5 momentum and 1 threat.
Okay, good luck. That is 4. They don't have a reroll.
You still have determination.
Well, the ship rolled a
You
2.
spent the
Okay, so we can just squash that. We should still have 2 momentum. We were at 6, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so should I spend... Oh, never mind. No, I
Spent
spent...
5 momentum and gave me 1 threat.
Right.
which means
Sorry,
you didn't roll enough
tried to-
dice.
I tried to... I misworded when I tried to reduce the number. I was going 4 momentum, 1 threat, so I wasn't spending 5.
How much did you want to spend total? 5?
I
rolled
wanted
4
to...
dice. So
Yeah, I wanted to roll 4 dice.
You did to spend determination.
No, I didn't spend it. I was saying that they had that value. I was not spending determination.
But then it would only cost 3 momentum to roll 4 dice.
yeah, it only costs 3. I thought you were rolling
Yeah,
5
so
dice.
I am...
We would still have a momentum, and there wouldn't have been a threat.
I'm sorry. I entirely did the math in my head and then missed something major.
Yeah, so the good news is we still have enough to quash, and you still have a determination to reroll if you want to.
We can quash it.
You gained 2, so you're at total of
Yeah,
3
we
momentum.
gained 2 anyway. Sorry about confusing everyone there.
This
I'm a
is why
genius.
there's the rule: never do math on live stream.
I have to do math on live stream. I don't have this in advance.
I mean,
Uh,
it never changes though.
and then we're still up to 3 momentum, Captain.
I thought you had to quash though.
Yeah, we
Gained 2.
gained 2 on that anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a 0.
I mean, give it. Oh, if you gave it vicious, it would do the trick. But
Do not give them ideas.
Actually, it is vicious.
No.
It actually is.
How?
that would be 11 with your modulation.
So a 1 piece of pierce of damage gets through.
Well, so yeah, that's 13. So 2 shields.
Oh, there is a 2.
Yeah, there's a 2 and a 1. So 13 raw, and then you just go down literally
3 shields.
3 shields.
Nice.
We could get a breach.
You could not get a breach on that. What?
It would require threat, but yeah, we.
Do not stop
fine.
the ideas, Winchester. No.
Trying to add some excitement.
It was 1 power plus an additional 4 power. Because
Was it a warp? Or
no, it was an impulse. It's
So
the ion storm
for-
because it's dampening. Sorry, 5. So 1 more power. Because like your systems, and then backup EPS comes into play, I think. So.
Who wishes to roll the challenge dice?
That's only for warp, isn't it?
Roll 5 challenge dice for me, please.
Backup EPS is whenever you are drained on power.
Oh,
You're
okay,
being
I was-
drained
I
because
was-
it's dampening. You're being drained
Yeah.
of power. So roll 5 challenge dice because backup EPS comes into play.
Am I being volunteered again? Is that what's happening? Nope. There we go. Good.
All right, so take back 2 power.
back.
So your total of 6 power, so you went down to 4. You should be at 6 power.
Okay.
7?
6. Yes, you steamroll through the ion storm, and it's a very bumpy ride, and your shields take the brunt of it. You lose the modulation, but you manage to come unscathed, and as you come through, you see as you come to a grinding halt as a space whale kind of glides and floats right past the front of the hull of the ship.
All right, let's get into position. Let's get our into position to provide cover for the Aquila with our shields. Let's also try to get in contact with those whales if somehow possible to get them to stay within the bubble. In the meanwhile, though, let's also try to get our shields back to full strength and our power back to full.
Scene change, you go down one momentum, and
Oh well,
power's
the
back.
shields somehow.
Yes,
Yeah.
power and shields come back.
I put us right over the Earth design. I think we need to be like underneath it to be fair. Let me double check this.
You'll have to get into where it's at, but real quick, Tala, make a fitness plus medicine check, difficulty 2.
We can flatten ourselves against the top of it. There we go.
Do I have a focus that applies? I imagine if this is environmental, then maybe psychosomatic disorders might.
Add increased complication. I'll take it.
You said it was difficulty 2?
Yes, difficulty 2, fitness plus medicine.
Momentum.
You get the momentum back. Sorry, I can barely hear. What'd you say?
Sorry, that was supposed to be an off mic comment. I meant to mute.
Oh. Tala, you can feel in it as the ship comes out, and you feel this intense pain overcome your body, and as you concentrate, it subsides, but you realize the pain is not coming from you, but from one of the whales.
Does this strike? I guess this does strike me as weird, but more specifically, are they trying to communicate with me? Because I haven't reached out to them yet.
Insight medicine, difficulty of 1.
I guess I don't actually have a focus in telepathy.
Yeah, you probably need one of that. Gain a momentum. So do you wish to move the Tenshi in position underneath the Aquila?
I believe above actually fits both of our ships better. Put the flat part to the flat part. We should probably tell them our intentions.
communicate with the Aquila and coordinate our flight plan with our flight intentions with their pilot.
Get a message back saying they are maintaining position. They will not be moving since they're generating the field currently.
All right, move us into position. Counselor, any luck with those whales?
GM, can I? Yeah. So what kind of task or what am I looking at if I want to try to get them to associate the Tenshi with safety? Like I'm not trying to teach some whales how to speak or language or anything. I'm just trying to imprint on them that the Tenshi is equal to safety.
The strange-looking whale is safe.
I will give this to you, but their thought patterns are somewhat foreign. Like you're getting very basic, more like sensory information from them. Like they're sharing it like telepathically amongst each other.
Is it possible then to use the fellowship specialty and the fact that they sent us some of their research to spend one momentum to create an advantage to make, I guess, to make that task possible? I don't know if we're talking about this is just something that's never going to be possible, or if we're talking it's difficulty 6 or 7, so it's not really feasible at the moment.
It's not really feasible at the moment. There's more information that would need to be collected about them and stuff.
Is there some way we could lure them to us then? In that case, like, not even trying to communicate with them, we just get a feeling of what they would prefer to be closer to, instinctually, and we just kind of draw them toward us as a sort of scent box or a. Well, we don't want them to think we're food because then they'll attack us.
Sort of a follow the light kind of moment.
I will say, Tala, that you are definitely getting feelings of anxiety coming from them, at least what you perceived as anxiety. They're agitated, and one of them is suffering from intense pain. They seem almost fearful. But communicating them with them is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, I mean, we had them send over the documentation, so I mean, I'm going to utilize that focus in research to try to make this possible, if it's possible at all. Like, I mean, it may require some prep rolls or something, but yeah.
Give me reason plus medicine difficulty of 2. This is sort of to figure out like a behavioral pattern among them.
Take a moment. Is a focus in research.
I'll take neuropsychology.
Yeah, I'll go for a reroll with determination on the value. I'm fascinated by the mind.
I'll take that. 2 momentum gained. Their thought patterns are not so much, what is safe or not. They're more guided by instincts. So they are actively, you can tell you through their like as they're kind of moving about in this bubble, they are actively trying to find a way out. Their anxiety and whatnot, but one of them seems, you can sense, is still, and you can kind of sense another faint mind with around that whale as well, that's stationary. They're almost in like a protective stance, trying to find a way out and guide each other out of there.
I mean, do I feel like I know enough, or am going to, or like looking into them more is going to help me influence what they do, or are they too foreign for that?
They're too foreign for that.
So thoughts, counselor? What can you tell us about these whales?
They're erratic, and they feel cornered, and there's possible injuries, so I would expect them to not be cooperative, likely to cause more problems than anything else.
All right, so if we want to move them, we're going to need to give them a way out and let them get away on their own. Then we can worry about ourselves.
I would focus on the Aquila. I would think that the whales would be secondary priority.
We are duty bound to protect life whenever possible. If there's a possible route to get these things out, I want to take it. At the moment, I think we should be able to take over. We should be able to save the Aquila. relative safety. My concern now is trying to figure out how to get the whales out as well before the storm takes them.
Agreed. I would remind the counselor that this particular species of whale is on the endangered list.
I want to see them prosper as much as you, but our duty to the people on the Aquila is higher than our duty to the whales.
Ops, patch me over. Open up the channel again to the. Not open. Unmute us to the Aquila.
Aye, sir.
Tenshi to Aquila.
Go ahead, Tenshi.
All right, we're moving into position now to take over duties of putting up a shield around you and helping carry you out of the storm. However, we're at an impasse of now getting you out on your own is going to be fairly risky, but it is theoretically possible we'll be able to pull you along inside our bubble and get you through the storm into safety. That does leave us with the problem of communicating with the whales. Some of my staff have tried to figure out a way to talk to them, but there's exceeding difficulties in that department. And we're not sure we can secure their knowing cooperation. Now, I have a theory, and I don't know if your ship can do it. But I was thinking that, if possible, if the Tenshi were able to put up a field like this to maintain the bubble as it is, and then you move more to the edge and possibly create a corridor for them to escape. One, I wanted to know your input on whether that's possible, since you are the ones who invented this, who devised this field, and two, if you're willing to make the attempt. I can't order you to do so. You're civilians. You are perfectly within your rights to request immediate escape and rescue. If that's what you request, then that's what we'll provide.
I am certainly willing to give it a try. We will have to navigate the, find a safe way out of the nebula through conventional means. Hopefully, we'll make it through with all our power intact, and we should be able to modify the way we use the deflector. If maybe we could link our deflectors in such a way that while you're generating the field to create the tunnel, it is quite a distance to cover with just our deflector alone.
In that case, would it be wiser to flip the roles? You maintain position and we push out to the edge to create the corridor? That way, navigating the field we've been able to navigate through it, so we may be able to weather it a lot better than you can, if you can maintain your current output.
We'll definitely give it a try.
So I have your permission to proceed then, Captain?
Of course. We'll try to maintain our communication link so we can coordinate the deflector beam.
Very good. Security helm, let's come about and get into position to try to create this corridor for them and create this field. My hope is that if we create the corridor, they will simply see the escape valve and just zip right out of it, and then we can come about quickly to the Aquila and secure it and drag it out the same way we came in.
Captain, do you want to send an engineering team over to the Aquila to assist them?
That's actually not a bad idea. Tenshi to Aquila, it's been brought up to my attention that it may be helpful to you to have an engineering team aboard your ship as well. Would you find that helpful in your situation?
Time is of the essence, though. we should be able to maintain and hold position and generate enough power for the beam. But once they're through, we're gonna have to disengage right away, or we're gonna lose power and be overcome by the ion storm.
Very well. We'll be underway then. Mute the Aquila for hold the Aquila in collaboration for the time being. Commander, we're gonna have to just leave that alone for now. Speed is not time is not on our side. We'd have to acclimate our people with theirs, and that may take time we don't have.
Understood. Orders, Captain.
Come about, and what we'll want to do is following the the doctor's plan. We'll want to buff our shields to some degree, so we can weather the storm somewhat, get into position, and then emit our own field to create a corridor for the whales to get through. So we'll need shield modulation, move into position, and then emit the field.
Very well, Lieutenant Sarissa. We're going to get getting the shields modulated. Lieutenant Vogel, you and I will work on emitting the field.
Yes, Commander.
Shield modulation, aye, sir.
Control plus security is by the ship's structure plus security difficulty difficulty 2 to modulate the shields again.
Modulation of shields. Okay. One of the threat. And I can reroll one because bold. Nice. Let's see how helpful the ship feels like being. Helpful enough.
3 momentum, so currently at 6 total resistance.
Oh, whoops. Man, that was...
You wish
And
to...
we can put the 3 I made into. Do I want to put 4 into it again? Make it a 10, or leave it at 9 with what I made?
Yeah, let's put in 4. Yeah.
Okay, back to 10. Yeah.
All right.
Modulation's complete.
What's next?
Now we need to move the ship into position and figure out how to do this thing with the deflector shield.
Actually, first, let's get the... Well, yeah. We'll need to move into position first, then put up the shield. I was thinking for a second of trying to get the shield programmed into the computer so we can just flip it on when we get into position. But because of how chaotic a storm might be, we might have to wait till we're in it first, then program it, and then admit it.
Well, and if I might suggest, Captain, we may want to prepare the deflector before we get too close to the wall of the ion storm as well, which may interfere with our system.
Okay, so all right, let's prepare the field and have it primed but not fired until we're ready to go. So we'll just have to hold the charge. We'll program it and get the charge set before we move into it.
I'll give this to you. You have to be kind of in position to link up the deflector beams.
Okay.
Because you're creating the corridor. You're not actually going to be emitting a ionic field. Like you will actually have to be out of the ion storm to create the tunnel.
Oh, so we're basically doing the jump back out again thing. Okay.
Yeah. So, FYI, there was supposed to be a whole scientific method for this. So, but you guys were already halfway there, so I cut that out.
Yeah.
So, kind of became pointless at that point. I was like,
It's like you kind of have the idea. You have the right plan anyway. So.
I wing it back through to lock. Is that what we're doing?
It seems like it.
keep in mind at this point when you start going through out, will be intervals.
Okay. Like rolling to lock to get us out again.
You have 16 total intervals to get the link done and for them to essentially pass through. Which so you're gonna barrel through again, and it will be difficulty 3. I will have the complication range set to 3. So diff 3. Comp 3, daring con, system by the ship's engines con.
Daring con, push the limits.
That's what the budget limits difficulty. It's base 4 because you're
yeah. Just putting it out there so I know. It's bitter to say and be wrong. Yes, rolling things. Me.
And so you've done this before?
Yeah, we'll do the 3 threat. Yeah. They did make it.
Engines con.
Come on, ship.
Ship's been rolling hot tonight.
Engines con.
Comp 3.
Whoop. That was a 15. Not enough.
There's a complication, but you do get through.
Probably should quash that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a value to lock. I don't know if they could use it, actually. Actually, every moment counts during a flight emergency.
Not
Question
enough
mark?
damage, but because that's 9, so not enough. But you do lose. It's 1 power for the impulse, so you're down to 9 plus additional 3 power. But roll 3 challenge dice for me to see if you keep any of that with the backup EPS conduit. So no. So you're down to total of 6 power.
Okay.
You're outside the ion storm. To link up, it's going to be a control plus security or engineering, system by the ship's structure plus engineering, difficulty 4. And this will actually cost 4 power.
Well, I can assist or lead on that, whoever,
And,
however.
The Aquila will be assisting with this as well.
Fogo could probably assist.
Is that assist from you, Vogue?
Yeah, she could probably assist because she's at the ops station, so she probably have a better help controlling power and whatnot.
Whomst is leading, Sarissa or Salon?
Control engineering for Salon is 15.
I've got a 15 too. I've got rerolls.
Who has the better value when you think about it? Because you might need to involve that, your determination.
I've got one for protecting the ship, but we're not the ship in danger here, so...
I was thinking of challenging the value. Experience and wisdom is gained from failure and replacing it with failure is not an option.
Oh, I can give you a determination. I still have mine because I rolled my veteran. Unless you want to change it out. At which point I'll shut up.
Yeah, well, I've got my determination. I just need a value to spend it on.
Oh, you said burn, so I thought you were trying to get rid of one of your values. Like, wait, what?
Mission directive. It's a possibility, perhaps.
Is mission directive a possibility?
No.
I knew he was going to say that based on the change in our mission profile.
No, that's not it. Mission
What?
directive, like your directive is to save the Aquila. It's not to save the space whales. Because they're the ones.
Fair enough. Yeah.
They're the ones that set the distress call.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And yet they are in distress. Anyway.
Prime directive?
I mean, they did send out a distress signal, but not formally.
It's not a traditional distress signal.
It's yeah.
Either way, whomever.
Yeah, I don't mind challenging the value. It's kind of
Well,
changing
is
a lot.
the challenge of the value would give you a determination. You still have to have a value to spend it on.
Okay, that makes sense. I know it'd be a stretch to spend it on impromptu action in a crisis is more logical than thoughtful at consideration. But if the GM would let me stretch that,
Sure.
all right, I'm going to spend a determination. That gives me 2 automatic successes, right? So I'm going to spend at least. Let's make sure we get this. I'll spend 3 threat to get the 2 extra die. That should get us there.
It's 5 threat.
Determination counts as 1 extra die.
Yep.
Oh. That's a lot of threat. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
I will spend that and plus additional 1 to up the complication range to 4.
Yikers.
Embrace the
That
chaos.
was-
Aha!
Oh my! Aha!
Ship is assisting with structure engineering.
And is it Vogel, you want to assist or shall Sarissa?
You have the better scores. If we can only have 1, you have the better scores.
Okay. Haha.
If we could have 2, then I could roll, but
It's 1.
that would be up to the GM.
For momentum gained, there are currently 3 complications on the table.
Do you want Gathatans? Wait, you're a veteran. Do your check, see if you get it back. So on.
Yeah.
Well, then
Reroll.
we go back.
Hey,
Get it
reroll the
back.
3. Reroll the 3.
Roll veteran. Go ahead and just re-roll veteran though, real quick.
He's got the icon.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you mean for the second use? Right, yeah.
Might as well do it now, yeah. I see what you're saying. Whoops.
Unfortunate.
All right, but it does let me re-roll the 3 dice, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey!
1 float. Currently, you're down to 2 power.
1 float for intervals?
Wait, where'd that go? It's gone now.
Using less time thing? Is that possible?
Sure. So you're at a total of 13 intervals.
Nope. There. I can't type. There.
You successfully turn on the beam. You it's linked up, and the space whales start flying through the corridor. way too many intervals for you guys to just barrel roll through.
Hey, I found the.
We spent
that's menu. Spent it. Okay, so
We'll need more power.
Well, you guys are actually safe and fine. The Aquila's
Yeah, we'll
in
need more
danger.
power if we want to get the Aquila.
I mean, I do have power management, so I could probably be focused on trying to get us more power.
Yeah, and we've got 6 momentum too, so
Squeezing all the juice we can out of it.
and then we'll just barrel roll back in.
go.
And go get them.
Each time you guys do an action, the Aquila's going to lose 1 power.
Oh. Oh no. Okay.
So gain as much power as you can. Our shields are still modulated, so we can just barrel right back in.
Our shields are still modulated to 10.
Alright, so yeah. I think I'll power management then.
Daring plus engineering.
It's
or
daring
control.
for power?
Daring or control.
Or control. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll use control.
Yeah, barrel back in, extend the bubble over them.
Yeah,
Or
difficulty
the shield bubble
2.
over them.
You get. You guys have the super talent.
I don't think so.
No, that was the other game. Okay. Get 1 power back on a successful roll.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of how I want to spend resources here because we need the momentum to get more power. So I'll give you a threat.
I'm gonna spend that plus 2 more comp 3. So div 2, comp 3, control or
Yes.
oh.
Yes.
2 float. You gain 1 power back. I'm assuming the 2 float goes straight to power.
Yep.
So you're at
So that
total
puts that-
5.
Do we want to spend half of our momentum to put us at 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And then that keeps us with some momentum in case we need it.
Yeah.
Say we'll need. I'd say every time we go through, I've been trying to keep toe momentum on the table.
Yeah.
For if we take a breach, I actually have a medal to not take a breach.
Oh, that medal, yeah.
Or I can take a complication to myself, but that's potentially I'm unconscious or being exposed to the vacuum of space.
Don't worry, the
if you're a
doctor will
certain
make sure you
person.
get out there.
11 intervals left.
We barrel rolling through again.
Yep. Helm, set course back to the Aquila. Get us back in there.
I'm sure Talok is just like, can I resign?
Isn't the corridor still open?
Oh, if we maintain the link, we could just follow our own corridor and just reel
They'll
in the string
technically
between us.
collapse behind us.
You would have to actually close it to move.
Oh, okay.
But would it be possible to move fast enough to go through it as it's collapsing? No.
It's instant. It's nearly instantaneous.
Okay. I tried.
Well, that's why we warp through that gap.
No.
Sure. I mean, really, it's just an impulse.
Yeah, but then we're warping through a gap, and then we take no damage if we succeed.
The gap technically closes right away, so
let's just we
all right. We'll impulse through. Okay.
Did base 4 daring con since by the ship's engine plus con push limits drops it down to 3.
Okay.
I have threat. I'm gonna spend it. Comp 2.
Comp 2. Okay. Should I spend determination on this one or use that? Just save it for rerolls. Save it for rerolls probably.
The captain will give the determination he has right now. That way you have 2. Spend 1 now, and then you'll have 1 for a reroll.
Yeah. I'm thinking the value of every moment counts during the flight emergency because we're emergency flying. Really, every time is of essence, and this is kind of an emergency. Kind of, it is.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. And we'll throw a momentum and a threat at that to do this, and ha. That's still a pass.
Engines
What's the
con.
ship?
Ship could save you.
Engines. Con. Comp is now 2.
Gain a momentum. There's a complication.
Which we could squish. We could squish or we could reroll.
I'd squish and save that determination for getting us back out again.
Yeah, fair enough.
So down to 1 momentum. You're fine, but roll 2 challenge dice.
2.
No, so you lose 3 power total.
So 5. Buttons. Whoa.
You're down to 9 intervals.
All right.
Think we're at extending the shields around them and having them collapse, right?
Maneuvering above them, if that is a thing we need to do with time constraints.
There will be a maneuver check.
Okay.
It is base difficulty 0, control or daring con. This is by the ship's engines plus con. Because the space is relatively calm and peaceful.
Control, helm ups. I feel like we don't have rerolls anyway. Yeah, okay. Hey! Ship
Engines con.
Come on, complication.
No!
Complication! Gain a momentum.
We can buy it off.
Yeah.
You're over top of the Aquila.
Okay, expanding shield bubble.
You're gonna have to redo the modulation. And I will spend.
Am I? Oh. Drat. How darest thou?
Well, it's got us this far, so.
Yeah, it has gotten us through twice on that one modulation, so I'm not unhappy with that.
All right, extend and secure the modulation.
Yes, sir.
Control security assisted by the ship's structure plus security difficulty 2 to extend the shields.
Control security.
Is it possible the Aquila ship can assist us with this?
Not really, because they're relying on your shields, not theirs.
Yeah.
It was a long shot. I was like, oh, I'll ask. Maybe the GM will say yes. Probably I wouldn't, but maybe you would.
Why should I? If you won't.
Yeah.
Because you drank extra apple juice today? I don't know.
Ooh. Okay. 3 threat. E. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to make sure this succeeds, otherwise because we need
I
everybody.
think it succeeded.
Okay. Structure engineering?
Yes.
Bang. God damn it.
The ship. Wait a second.
It's 5. You can't reroll that.
I can't use the Aquila Necklace of Fortune because it just is
Not
on
on
a.
the ship.
Oh, it's on a failed. Yeah, never mind. I was considering my. Damn you, ship.
Do we have momentum left over?
We should. That should make us momentum.
That should give you 5 momentum. This is the advantage just to extend the shields. Keep that in mind.
Yep. So we'll be down to 3 if we quash. Does someone else want to pilot? Because I'm doing both of the things right now.
Oh, I suppose there's that. Yeah.
Is just what my consideration is. I'm playing my character, but also the other person doing things is someone I've been doing. And then remodulating is, I believe, what we're
Same roll.
doing.
Control security is by the ship's structure security difficulty of 2. You're at 5 intervals.
5 intervals. Same threat. Same threat. Same threat. 3 threat. I mean, when I say same threat.
Comp 3.
Comp 3. Okay. Reroll. Done. Thank you, ship.
Whoa, desk, don't do that.
Okay.
4 momentum. So
So
currently it's
up
6.
to 6, then 7 if we use the float, and then if we go down to 3 momentum, we'll be at 10 resistance again, which seems like a good number for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, do we want to spend 1 just to reduce intervals in case time is being more weird, or no? Safe side time.
Well, what was the intervals for? Just them maintaining the
Power.
field, or
Maintaining the
Them.
no, and then when they're going to lose power. The interval is
lose
the
power.
like when the intervals end, they're gone for power.
Okay.
because I was gonna say they could just drop their field.
Yeah, they could drop their
Because
field and
it's no
we'd
longer
be
required.
fine. I think it's also they could. That would potentially extend intervals for us to just leave.
Well, what I'm thinking is that once we signal to them, hey, once we start moving and we're impulsing our way out of here again, you can drop the field. Once we're that way, we're having the field up for as long as possible until we're
Yep.
already in motion.
Do
That
we
will save
want-
us some time.
Do we want to tractor beam them, or are we going to be both impulsing separately? Separately within the same shield bubble.
Do we have the power reserves for that?
It costs us 1 power to tractor them. It's time.
You would be getting a tractor lock while they're maintaining the field.
Yeah. Let's get a tractor lock on them. That way they don't have to worry about having enough power to
Keep up
with us. We can
Yeah.
just drag them along.
Okay. Here's another control security.
Control security difficulty of 2. Yes.
Okay.
It's difficulty 2 system by structure security.
1 threat. Hey, threat.
Probably drop the interval here though.
Drop
Yeah,
the interval here for sure, yeah.
So no matter what, that's going on. Weapon security for the ship or structure?
Structure security.
Yeah, I always get that backwards.
It's gain 2 momentum. You have a tractor beam lock, and I guess you're spending 1 of that to.
Yep.
Yeah, we spent that off the top to interval down, so we're at
2 intervals.
okay.
2 intervals. Okay, that's enough to leave? Question mark. Hopefully.
Let's actually, since we can spend to save some time, I'm thinking we do some power generation. Well, actually, no. Yeah, let's do some power generation, shave some time, and then we'll jump.
Okay. Sound good to you, Vogel?
Yeah.
Control or daring engineering.
Is it possible to
Is
use
to-
determination on mission directive now because we are directly rescuing
Yes.
them? All right, I'll use my determination to do that.
Bam. Oops, I forgot it. Get back to the ship sheet.
2 momentum.
Yeah,
Gain
let me
1
just
power.
need
The ship doesn't even assist on this, so.
correct.
And we spend 1 to
1 to cut, and then 1 to cut the interval, and then how much power you guys think we need?
I'd say throw 3 more power at it. That way we still have 2 momentum lying around.
Yep, that works for me. Go back up to 8.
3.
You have half an interval. half a task. It's one interval.
So we need to spend momentum to even try before the time runs out.
Well, keep in mind the keeping intervals will not be possible in the next task roll. So literally, it's a minor action which they could drop the.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
Yep.
Because at this point, they're out of power anyway.
Let's go, Chief, then.
Set course, get us both out of here.
You have one
All
task
hands brace for
to.
impact.
Yeah. This is going to be daring plus con, system of the ship's engines plus con, difficulty 5. Essentially, kind of escape this mess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're in any real danger unless our ship goes down.
Yep. Is
'Cause-
anyone else taking to lock, or am I still doing that? Okay.
Yeah. You've
The
been doing good
silence
so
is
far.
spoken. Okay, so it's daring con. Difficulty goes down by 1. Push the limits? Question mark.
Diff 4.
Yay. The question is, do I want to preempt value or determination or save for reroll?
I'd say preempt. Let's make sure we
Yeah.
get this roll.
Do that. Do 2 threat for that. Value could be mission directive or every moment counts. Again.
It'd be mission directive at this point.
Okay.
Or is it every minute?
Yeah. Have fun. That's 4.
Engine's gone.
Not a comp.
Not a comp.
We hit 4, just barely.
I'm gonna spend 2 threat to add a extra challenge dice to this.
Oh, to add extra damage, yeah.
Advantage.
9.
Total of 9. Modulation holds, but roll 4 challenge dice.
4. Bang.
You lose 5 power.
So 3.
And you make it
Good thing we tested out those power EPS
Yeah.
systems.
Yeah, really. I think this is a far better test of the shields, too.
And
the engineers back at base are going to be happy about this.
you barely make it out, and the ship definitely rattles and shakes. You kind of see little sparks from some overloads as the backup EPS conduits are trying to help. But yes, you made it out, and on the view screen you can see the whales kind of floating away, drifting off. With a new addition, an 8th one.
Ops, let's get a nice, good scan of our departing friends. We might get a higher resolution scan of them than the our civilian friends did.
Yes, Captain.
Shall I release tractor lock on the SS Aquila, sir? Or should we get them some distance further before that?
Let's move a little more distance away from the anomaly and then release the tractor beam. Ships stand down to yellow alert. Oh yes, put the doctor on screen, since now we don't have to worry about the anomaly anymore.
Unfortunately, they don't have power, so I have to roll for power for them.
Oh.
Can they have a momentum?
Yes.
Yes. They have earned it.
I think that's an increased difficulty. No, it's just diff 2. Yeah, they get a power back, and they're trying to maintain getting their power back online.
Captain, I'm happy to report that instead of 7 of the space whales, there are now 8. One appears to have given birth shortly after leaving the ion storm.
Well, that was. In some cultures, it's considered good luck to be birthed in the middle of a crisis. Once we get in contact with the Aquila, let's make sure that they are safe to move on their own power. If they need more assistance, we'll send people over. If not, we are to resume course and stand down to green alert.
And on screen appears a human female. Captain Thatton, on behalf of everyone here on board my vessel, thank you. And I'm sure our friends thank you as well.
Not at all, Captain Taylor. We're just doing our job. Do you need any further assistance?
I believe we can manage on our own. It'll take some time to restore our power reserves, but we're in no real danger.
Captain, the whales.
What about them, Lieutenant?
They might want to know, sir.
Oh, I suppose they might not have realized. We're going to send over our sensor data now. We just got a snapshot of them while you were restoring power. I think you'll have some pleasant news after all this. Beyond your own safety, of course.
Of course, and she kind of looks over and she gives a kind of smile like, that's good news.
Does it technically make us midwives? I'm not sure about the technicalities of that, Doctor.
Which doctor? There's so many here.
Captain.
I believe it does.
Well, if you no longer need our assistance, we're going to carry on with our initial mission profile. Feel free to contact us if you need us again, but we'll be heading further out from here. We should be within hailing range for a good while yet. Try not to get caught up in another ion storm, if you please, Captain.
Well, let's just say the ion storm came to us, and many of us here felt a dire need to protect the whales.
Understandable, Captain. Safe travels.
You as well.
Tenshi out. All hands, stand down to green alert. Commander, if you'll put us back onto our original course, please.
Releasing tractor lock and lowering shields.
That's probably wise, Lieutenant.
That's why she was just doing it.
Engineering reports are going to start working on restoring our power systems and repairing any minor damage we had to the EPS systems.
Just imagine, thanks, we're leaving, but we take them with us anyway.
No, you're coming with us. We need a spare ship.
I think that becomes kidnapping.
It's called Preston to Service.
It's just an alternate version of ablative armor.
Oh, God. Right, Commander Solon, you have the bridge.
Affirmative, Captain. Helm set us back in our original course and engage at warp 8.
I am surprised the shields were not more badly beaten.
See, aren't you glad we got those upgrades in Space Dock?
Yes. I do enjoy being in one piece.
So yes, we're in the final scene. So if anybody has anything they wish to do is before we close up the section or session. Can't talk all of a sudden. Sorry.
Talking's hard.
It is.
Are these technically experimental shields we have, or no?
They're advanced.
They're advanced.
We just experimented with them.
Yes. Let's see how much they can take.
I should probably set about making a report to send to people who might be interested in such experiments.
It's okay, you can skip the ion storm part of the experiment. We did that already.
Yeah. Here's the field testing. I don't actually know. I think I just send that to my people, and they'll send that on to whoever they need to send it on.
Probably the Starfleet Corps of Engineers and Starfleet Security, because they both would care.
Yeah. Lots of furious typing.
No other scenes for the captain, though. He's just doing he's reading off his log. Unless someone wants to talk to him. That's why he's in the ready room.
Nope, nothing for Salon. He's setting about watching the bridge and making appropriate notations in individuals' personnel files, noting their excellent work for this day. Or in Vulcan speak, acceptable.
Vogel's just monitoring ship systems and getting updates from all departments. Damage reports and such.
Surprising, there is no damage reports to go through.
Lots of extra maintenance from the backup EPS. It's like, you know how we had 100,000 backups, so we now have 100 less than that. Didn't think we'd use it up in the first 24 hours, but first 24 hours, first few days.
If there is nothing else anybody wishes to do aboard the ship, we can go ahead and end the session here.
I think we're golden.
All right.
I'm all good.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So, all right. That will conclude today's session.